Well, Terry, you whined and moaned about me on Facebook, and you said I was gone. I was unresponsive. Well, here I am. We're here.
I didn't say you were unresponsive. I just figured your wife had put you in a induced coma or something.
Well, look. Okay, so let's.
I can't imagine living with a sick Dave Adams.
Oh, it's horrible.
It can't be.
I am not like
everything. I would imagine it's everything you are as an Alabama football fan on Saturdays, but times 10,000.
Oh, I have the worst version of a man cold. I completely admit that. But so let's wind the clock back. We were supposed to do this D23 debrief like the week after. Well, I had walking pneumonia. It was rough. Every other syllable I said, I coughed. The Alabama Texas game, I watched curled up in a chair, and that game was bad, horrible, bad. But I watched it curled up in a chair and could barely move. So you have to know that was rough. Then D23 came around. Then I went into negotiations with Boeing and NASA, and then I went on the Wish. And so I'm sorry
did you buy Boeing?
Well, I am part of the negotiation team between Boeing and NASA.
Is NASA buying Boeing? Are you going to be a
No. So Boeing builds the SLS rockets, and so we're in negotiations for more rockets.
Rocket Man.
Yep, I'm the Rocket Man. Anyway, so I'm here. We're going to be talking about we're going to be actually doing 2 shows tonight.
Yeah, back to back. So if you're watching on Facebook right now, saddle up your horses.
We got a road to play. It's going to be
it's a trail to blaze.
A trail to well, he
through
says
the wild blue yonder
in God's amazing grace.
Dude,
yes,
he's your cruise buddy. I thought you and him were best buddies. So.
I mean, it's the Alaska cruise I went on. I could have sworn he changed that lyric in a little bit.
Although I didn't send this. I did send all my friends this. Several of my friends know that, that I've always been a Steven fan. I've seen him on 2 or 3 different arena tours. And,
right.
When we used to do WDW Today in the factory, that's where Show Hope's offices are. So I'd see him pretty regularly.
Yeah,
and he was just on the cover of like AARP magazine or something.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's depressing.
It's funny too, and we're getting.
He doesn't have the same access to Botox that
his wife
W. Smith does.
Yeah, so. It's funny because he looks nothing like you would remember him from that Great Adventure album cover. He's aged gracefully, but
dude, he has. But
he looks not. Stephen Curtis Chapman does not.
Dude, I've seen him. I've seen him. Or I live in CCM town, so
right. So anyway, all right, we're going to be talking DVC in this first D23. I do that all.
Which there is some big DVC news coming. I mean, I think honestly, one of the biggest things that came out of D23 is the my computer's telling me I'm out of memory, so let me quit some things before we break the internet here.
Yeah, I was going to say you were kind of wavy a little bit there.
Was I? It may be because I've got 73 windows open in Chrome. I might need to close some of those.
Harry Weaver. Yeah, that's the issue.
Well, got a relatively new Mac. It's just, oh, you know what it is? My audio editing software is open at the same time I'm trying to do this.
That'll mess you up.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest use of memory right now is Microsoft Word. Well, who needs that anyways?
For real.
I just force quit a bunch of stuff. We should be good.
All right. Awesome.
The one thing I do need to pull up is a list of like what actually came out of D23. Yep. I mean, who needs a list? But just for like official reporting's sake, I'd love to pull from some official.
Yeah. I mean, Blue Sky was awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to start it now. We're gonna.
We can call this show "Blue Skies Are Shining on Us." Blue.
There you go. Not on my way. All right. Here we go. Start the thing. Not your thing. The
That's
countdown
just a
thing.
few weeks away. If anybody wants.
This is Top of the World, the Disney Vacation Club podcast. A proud part of the WDW Today and Laugh-O-Gram Studios family. Join us as we talk parks, points, perks, and all things DVC, and how to get the most out of your membership. Here they are, Dave Adams and Terry Weaver.
Well, welcome home. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams, also known as Interrupting Cal, because, I interrupted your thing intro there.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's okay. We're here. We're back. We're talking a D23 review after Dave had the walking pneumonia from his fierce nicotine habit, apparently.
Yes, that's the case. Did you know that walking pneumonia is contagious?
Oh, well, there you go.
Because my daughter had
it. That's how it goes walking.
Yeah, my daughter's best friend had it. Then my daughter had it. Then my daughter's best friend's mother had it. Then I got it. Then Amanda got it. Then it's just should have been passed around our house and neighborhood.
Yeah, well, Now we can have all the diseases that took a couple of years off are all back. So
yeah, exactly. They're saying, hey, it's our time to rule again.
Yeah, I've had a flu shot this weekend, so I get kind of cranky after a flu shot, and my arm has this the one thing you'll learn is Dave and I are both those guys. Mm-hmm. That it's like when we get sick, it's like I'm going to need a nap, and so
I need a bendy straw.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, and football in general has been terrible this weekend. It's kind of the last weekend before things get real crazy for me with the thing coming up.
Yeah,
and so I intentionally I want to get the flu shot because my wife, she has a compromised immune system, so I always get it whether I want it or not. And by the way, if you're going to get the flu shot, it's not as easy as it used to be. You got because of staffing shortages.
Oh yeah,
nobody wants to work anywhere apparently. You got to make an appointment. Yeah, we went to Target thinking, we could go get some lip gloss and get a flu shot. They're like, no, you need an appointment. So we didn't have an appointment. So we went.
Fun.
We went to Publix and waited around where shopping was not a pleasure for a change.
Oh boy.
And so got our flu shot, and so here we are. We're here on Sunday night. Hopefully, the Mets are about to be eliminated from the
top of the eighth. San Diego's up 4-0 still.
Well, so. You may hear some Braves fans get a little excited about seeing a different trumpet, expecting that we were playing, but one that we will definitely listen to and enjoy.
Yes, sir. He'll be playing when Contreras walks up to bat for the Braves.
Oh man, good times. Yep. Well, man, since we've been gone, not to be confused with the classic.
Since we've been gone,
the fine folks at the Walt Disney Entertainment Company. Held a little event in Anaheim called the D23 Expo. And here's my kind of general opinion. I'm not sure anybody in the office read the memo that there was an event coming up, that anybody had to do anything like it was. I almost, when Dave said, hey dude, we can't do the show, I almost said, let's do the show and us review it and be like, well, that's it. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time and call that our episode, because that could have been our review.
So here's where I'm going to disagree with you,
dude.
What we don't
here? Hold on. With the fact nothing was announced
for Disney World.
No,
Disneyland.
Everything that Disneyland got announced was all previously announced. The only slight news that most people messed up was that we are getting a song back and not a show.
No, it is a show. They have come out and said we are getting Happily Ever back.
No, we're getting a version of it. We are not getting that exact show back. It's going to be, we're getting that song back. The song is coming back.
Is that for sure?
Huh?
Is that for sure? Because everything I've read said we're getting Happily Ever After Fireworks Spectacular back.
No. My understanding from multiple sources, including Disney, is that we are the statement was that we are getting the song is coming back. Now, granted, it's probably going to look and feel, let's hope that it keeps the good parts, because there are some good parts of Enchantment. Okay, I take that back. The one announcement that we did get is that we're losing Harmonious.
Which I don't understand.
I don't understand either. And that's sort of what's happening right now at the Disney parks. In my opinion, we're spending a lot of money fixing things that don't really need. There wasn't a large group of Disney fans. There might be some political activists, but there wasn't a large group of Disney fans that was saying, you know what, I wish you guys would change Splash Mountain.
Right. There was a
I'm
large
not I'm not a water ride guy, so I don't care. But Harmonious, in my opinion, is one of
perfect.
the best theme park shows I've ever seen.
And
I've never been more emotionally moved than by the first time. I've never actually immediately the next chance. We saw that last year on the night before the thing started. And then we went back with a group of people to take a group of people to Harmonious. I saw it like 4 times in one weekend. It is that good of a show.
Yeah, it is.
And because it encompasses globally what Epcot represents, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the barges as much as anybody else.
But they serve a great purpose.
They serve a great purpose. If they could just make them do something during the day.
They did. They did this week.
Yeah, I saw them for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, they were lit up with the 40th logo. And by the way, next time I go to Disney, remind me not to be there on Epcot's 40th or Epcot's birthday.
Dude, please. I've done it once. You've done it now twice. Don't go to the parks on those days.
No.
They are not pleasant experiences. In fact, Will Haynes and I from WDW Today were just reminiscing about our time there for the 35th of Epcot. And reminding of why we had a Tipsy Ducks in Love, went to the lounge in Italy, which is one of my favorite spots, and then just said, you know what? Let's get out of here. It's 97 degrees.
Yep.
It's not even 98 degrees. And it's hot, it's steamy, and there's a line everywhere. People were waiting 8 or 10 hours in line for
merch.
Here's something to understand. There was an app that Disney had a few years ago. I don't know if you remember this app, Dave. It might have been before you really got turned on to the Disney fandom. It was before your kids it was before your kids were the age,
right?
And that's kind of what did it for you, right? That was the thing that kind of turned this up to 11 for you,
right? Yeah.
And there was an app. You could go anywhere in the parks and scan a product, and it would tell you where else it was in the parks if they didn't have your size.
I remember that. Oh, my camera.
Yeah, your camera's not happy. It's like Mike Pence's camera with a fly last year during the debate.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I remember that app actually.
Yeah, and so I feel like on these big releases, let's just get out an app and then send this stuff to everybody's resorts.
Yeah.
You order the 7 things I want. And I don't know if you noticed this, but they've changed, I think you can get 10 per item now.
It was, so I was talking with a friend of mine who actually helps me get stuff when I'm not at the parks. It's still 2 per.
No, during the 40th, there were items that said 10.
Okay, well, there were some, but some of the items are still 2 per.
Like lounge flies, probably.
Yeah. Lounge flies, ears, spirit jerseys, all that stuff, still just 2 per.
Oof. And everybody's waiting. Everybody loves those. Loves those spirit jerseys, man. They want that.
My wife wears them all the time. They're the most.
I hate to tell y'all are paying $130 for a long sleeve T-shirt.
It's actually 67.
Is it 67? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of them go over 100. I thought.
Well, so yes, if you're buying them secondhand or from a reseller, yes, they're well over 100, 150, 200. But if you're buying them directly from Disney, they're 67. I think the highest is maybe
I
90.
just see a lot of the special ones,
Yeah, that's the case. Anyway, all right. Back to D23. So this is all strictly rumors, and it was not announced at D23. what was announced is that Harmonious is going away. The rumor I have heard is that Stargate and the tacos are gone, and that we will be getting a drone
That's
show.
actually the new band that's going to come to the Mexico Pavilion.
Yeah, Stargate and the tacos.
Stargate and the tacos. It'll be like you might have just said your first Disney fandom shirt that someone needs to make us a Stargate and the tacos band.
I like it.
In the Mexico Pavilion.
I like it. But Stargate and the tacos are gone, and that will be a drone show similar to what they have done in Paris.
I think part of the problem with the drone show at Epcot, as I've heard, is the real estate that it takes to land.
Yeah,
the drones.
It's not there.
It's not there. Not on that. Not to get them over World Showcase.
Right, and that's where it has to be.
Right. So to do anything like what they did at Disney Springs a few years ago. Did you ever see that show?
Not personally, but I've seen it on YouTube.
It was a great show. I loved it.
It was beautiful.
I wish they would do more things at Disney Springs to justify the crowds and the nonsense.
Right.
And let's keep building on the Disney Springs. Make Disney Springs, forget Make America Great. Make Disney Springs a full day park too. Make it where you go and you feel like, man, I need to spend more time there. And I feel that way. I feel like it's worthy of my time more and more every time I go.
I agree. I totally agree. I felt that way even more when the Void was there. How about we bring the Void back?
Or some version of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so D23. We heard that Epcot's getting a new fireworks show. We heard Happily Ever After in some form of fashion will be back. And that was about it for Disneyland or Disney World for a while. Cruise line.
Now, granted, if we're going to be honest, we need to go back to the very beginning of this. And something happened that a lot of people have talked about. And there's argument either way. Either way, our Uncle Bob didn't get a warm reception.
No, he did not.
At the Legends ceremony. The Legends ceremony was great. The person who I was the most excited about seeing get an award, I sent them a DM on the day that they were supposed to get the award. I was like, dude, I was so Don Hahn. And Don Hahn, much of your 90s Disney love is Don's fault.
I'll tell you, the one I was most excited for was Josh Gad. And his acceptance speech.
And Gab did not disappoint. His bit at the end about...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but Don Hahn, I was really bummed. Don Hahn, if you want, came down, tested positive the night before for COVID.
Oh, no.
So he couldn't be there to accept his award. And Don produced Beauty and the Beast and a lot of those, I think, Little Mermaid. He was involved in the studios all throughout that season of the parks. Of the movies. So Don Hahn definitely has made a lot of the movies that you love come to life.
Yeah.
I really don't think, and dude, our theory about tomorrow, that we've kind of joked around of like how we love the dude, and now we're kind of like, I don't know.
I'm beginning to think that last one is the
Dude, he definitely did not win a lot of brownie points with me.
Now, he was given and
I will say this was very, very interesting. This is the first time the CEO did not show up for the parks panel.
Yeah, and that was weird.
But he was noticeably, and that's just a leadership style difference. Even if it would have been just to be there and to celebrate. Even if it was just to introduce the day.
Right. So, and here is what I'm noticing. Chapek is very much a hands-off CEO. He is all about synergy, and he's all about letting his underlings do things for him.
See, I think you actually, he gives the impression that he's hands-off. He's hands-off publicly, but behind the curtain, I think he is. He just said, this is how it's going to be, and you guys don't have a choice.
And yeah, not good. Not a good... It's micromanagement.
Yes. So, I mean, none of us know, but I know a lot of really high-up people who have left lately.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that I really liked in every area of the company bounced during the pandemic.
Well, a lot of people had to.
Well, no, I mean Bob Weiss, I guarantee it didn't have to. You've been with the company since the 70s, dude. He could have stayed as long as he wanted to. He was the president of Imagineering.
Right.
He bounced because,
right.
I
get it. I get it.
And you know, and I'm actually looking for like a really exhaustive. It's interesting to watch. USA Today covered it, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. It definitely felt very Disneyland heavy, but almost everything they announced for Disneyland was stuff that we already knew about. And since then, they have announced an opening date for their Runaway Railway.
Toontown's going to reopen again.
Yeah, I mean, but we knew that was going to happen, right? Like we knew.
Right. So here's what I am leaning towards and beginning to realize. D23 is now just fan service. They're not using D23 for what it used to be. Now
I don't think that's the case.
Well, because here's why I say that.
There's no reason why they wouldn't use. Dude, marketing is all about attention.
I agree with you, but here's what I'm seeing.
Attention, and it started out very I got freaking excited when they brought out Homeboy that ruined the Lion King live movie and but saved it with the Mandalorian. What's his name?
Jordan Fisher?
Favreau.
Oh, John Favreau.
When Favreau came out, I was like, okay, we're going to get an announcement of a third e-ticket or at least a second e-ticket, because I don't know that you can call the Falcon an e-ticket. I think you could call it a D-ticket.
It is. Yeah.
I thought we were going to get another Galaxy's Edge announcement for both parks because there's room in both parks. The concepts are in the art of Galaxy's Edge. If you don't have the book, I highly recommend buying. I don't necessarily recommend. I recommend buying it, having it, and collecting it. I don't recommend thumbing through it because I think we actually mentioned that in an episode where I looked through it and it like shows the concept for the actual full blown restaurant.
It makes you sad, yeah.
And it's like, and here's the real deal, dude. And I mean, and you know me, I don't go to Universal. I don't love Universal, but I think Universal is about to eat Walt Disney World's lunch in Orlando.
I disagree, but
everyone who I know, and I know a lot of people who travel for a living. Every one of them are choosing to spend the day at Universal over Walt Disney World.
This is where you and I are going to disagree. This is where
This is not me advocating, Dave, for Universal.
Oh, I understand.
This is me just telling you, Justin Dean. Justin, if you're listening, give us a shout out. Young kids, he's in town for a conference in Orlando, has a night free. Where's he going? He's taking his kids to Harry Potter Land.
Okay.
When that option includes Super Mario and Mario Kart and all of the other things at Epic, Disney, the whole D23, my walk away, my general understanding of it is we don't care what they're doing at Epic and we don't think it's a threat.
And I got a total different thing.
Go ahead. You're going to be wrong, but go ahead.
No, I think here is the way I look at it. They're playing poker. They're holding their cards close to their chest. They're saying, here are some things that we could do, and we don't know. Think about it, Terry. Epic is supposed to open when? 2024? 2025?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
When's the next D23?
Hasn't been announced.
It's 2024 or 2025, right? Either 20.
Dave, you froze, buddy. Well, guys, it looks like Dave just lost his internet. So we all know Dave was going to be wrong anyway. So I'll just keep here bantering. If you guys are on the show watching and you're watching on Facebook Live, banter with me, ask me some questions. We can talk about the thing. I actually can't even turn the show off until Dave gets back. So who knows what we're going to do unless I just close this window. But we'll keep going for a while. Does anybody have any questions about D23 or our opinions, or if you guys just want to comment in the comment below? I see him a little bit on a delay, and we'll hope Dave gets his internet back. If not, yeah, we'll just move on with our lives and imagine this never happened. Good times. I'm sure you guys are captivated by this. Ask below in the comments, guys. Tell me what you guys have questions about or want to hear me talk about, or don't want to hear me talk about, or I want to know where you can buy a Thing shirt or talk about Dumbo. Dave said to vamp, so we'll just keep going. We'll just we'll sit here, we'll talk DVC. I'll drink some sweet tea. Dave's trying to watch too many things over there on his highfalutin office. Is anyone still even watching us here live? Is this even is this thing on? There was a bunch of you commenting, and now all of you have gone away because it's just Dave. Because probably when we froze. Yeah. Laura, Brad, Vance, are you still around? Jonathan, you still around? Or have all of you guys just left? I did find these fun little stickers the other day, cleaning off my desk that they used to send you when they wanted you to join the Disney Movie Club. I thought those were fun. I'm just here randomly talking about stuff, hoping Dave's going to get back on here, and it's not looking promising. I am not convinced. Well, anyone here? Bueller. There you go. We had a bunch of people watching, and then when we froze, people went away. So,
I am so sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. All right,
got that Alabama internet.
No, it's that wow internet, and I don't say wow every time I use it. I pay for a gig, and I don't get it. Okay, so what I was we'll find a way to fix it. But
so you're thinking your theory is that you're betting on that Disney is just holding their cards.
Yes,
they're waiting to announce. They're waiting to kind of see, because Universal has kind of held their cards too.
Right, but also let's look at it this way. And Jeffrey, we're not ignoring you. We see you. But Terry does ignore sometimes. I'm kidding.
I didn't see any. Did Jeffrey say something? I didn't see anything.
Yeah, Jeffrey's talking. Everybody's talking.
You know what? I only have one. Do we have this going multiple places?
It's going on. Hey, so you could look, if you're on StreamYard, you should be able to see all the comments on the side.
Oh, there they are. StreamYard. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Anyway, but so
Jeffrey, dude, I'm sorry. Skip, I'm sorry. StreamYard has not been kind to us tonight, if you haven't noticed. So,
yep.
It defaults me to private chat. Like, I just want to talk with you during the show.
I know, right? All right. So here's my thing. think about where Epic Universe is going. It's going right next to a dump. It's not going to smell pretty. So
There's
I
a
think
dump there.
yes, it is not good land. And it's very far away from Universal itself. So I really I hear what you're saying. The concept for Epic Universe sounds amazing. But I truly, as Disney fans, and as somebody who look, I like Universal. I like Harry Potter. I like Super Nintendo. I think that the things that they have talked about going into Epic Universes will be awesome. I just don't think that
Dude, that is not a dump. It is right next to Rosen Shingle Creek.
Okay, but it smells really bad.
There's not a dump there.
Okay, well, whatever it is, it does
That's
not.
just Florida. That's just how Florida smells.
Wet and Wild always smelled like horrible, and that's the old Wet and Wild area. So,
yeah, I mean, I've done several conferences over at that at Rosen Shingle Creek.
I truly think Disney knows what's coming. That's why we saw, hey, these are out there. We don't know yet. We don't know when this is coming. That's why we saw Blue Sky. Blue Sky will be going into the parks right as Epic Universe will be opening. I guarantee.
I hope you are correct, sir. But I don't think anything that was mentioned in the Blue Sky thinking will be visibly seen in a Disney theme park at the earliest the year 2028.
And if that's the case, then every one of the people at that Disney should be fired right now. Every person involved and I know for a fact that's not happening because they're already working with Lin-Manuel Miranda for Encanto stuff in the parks.
Yeah. Now, what I do know, and this is what's interesting, they very much have done development over in that area we're talking about, and they've already bought the offset land to justify the build space.
Right.
Because right now what Disney has been kind of doing, they're making a deal with the devil, is they're basically buying conservation land somewhere else in Central Florida off of their property when they're building. So they've already bought the acreage and they've already done the road work and stuff. So very much it's a no-brainer that they're going to do something beyond. And the theming would make sense because you're basically breaking the fourth wall when you start to change the story at Splash Mountain. So you're going to have to tell a new story there. So it makes a lot of sense.
And that's how you bring in the continuity because it's going to tie in more with this.
Dude, I don't think that, it may smell over there, dude, but it's not a dump. I mean, there's a nice resort there. I mean, I've tried to do the thing. They've tried to get me to do the thing there several times. And it's a decent resort. I mean, you're not that far from Icon Park and all of that stuff. It's not my favorite part of Orlando. But that doesn't mean it's not going to.
It will not be as epic and massive as I think everybody is wanting to make it out to be.
But it's action and it's new IP. It's new development.
Okay. You want new IP? Great. Hulk walking around in the Hulkbuster suit or that new exoskeleton. That's new IP that we hadn't seen before. Mando.
Not in Orlando.
Okay. This is another thing that you and I I disagree with your take. But here we go. Mando and Grogu walking around at
sure, great Disneyland. Fantastic.
Okay. D23 is no longer for Disney World.
No, it is Disney Worldwide, and they announced nothing.
Destination 23 is what is now Disney World.
Okay, well we'll see.
They have been announcing
that was That was called the D23 Parks and Resorts panel.
Agreed.
Last I checked, Walt Disney World was the largest percentage of park revenue.
We talked about this on 2 episodes ago when I went to Disneyland. What was my comparison? Disneyland is this beautiful thing that you put on a shelf and you take care of and make it pristine. Disney World is your moneymaker. And that's how Disney's treating it right now. Unfortunately, that's why Disney World gets Destination 23. That's where they've announced all of the new stuff for Disney World. D23 is Disneyland, Disney Cruise Lines, and other stuff. That's what it has become. Like it or not, that's what it has become. Okay, so I just got there is Epic is being built right next to a sewage treatment plant.
Who texted you that?
Somebody that lives in Orlando and who drives that way all the time.
That's why it smells over there.
Right. So Terry, you can see that, but
there you go.
Yeah. So it is a sewage treatment plant right there.
Which currently the Reedy Creek development has a couple of those too. But
right.
Yeah.
So, but that's,
and honestly, I really think the entire move of what happened to D23 is all a political based move. I think this was a screw you, Ron DeSantis. We're not going to spend any money in Florida. I think this is a politically motivated move.
Okay. Agree to disagree, but here's my, okay. So my honest take, that Sunday when they announced everything, I was still feeling sick. I was very disappointed. I was extremely, they got me with Happily Ever After is back.
Had you done this show the Monday, you and I both agreed you've become a company man because you've just gotten off the Disney Wish and you've had a great Disney experience and you've just been at the parks and you've just seen Princess Aurora make the sparkles in your girl's eyes light up.
Oh gosh. If anybody hasn't seen that picture.
Oh, dude, I get it. And man, I love Disney. I mean, I do an event at Disney. I'm used to do an event at both parks. I want the company to succeed. I want Disney to win. But this is not how we win. This is not. And I hope that out of somewhere that we get post November, hopefully some announcements and some.
So let's look back at history. Terry, you and I are big history people, right? We love history. We talk history.
Show me show me a blog post if we're talking about history.
Okay.
With them announcing something new at a Destination D.
They announced the Galaxy they showed us the new lightsaber. They showed us a bunch of stuff this last Destination D.
That's not a attraction.
Okay, well, we'll look at this later, but hold up. Here's another thing. My source.
Adam just want to hop on the feed and argue with me tonight. He can't.
No. Here's the other thing. Lockheed Missile and Fire Control is right next to Epic too.
Sweet.
So, but anyway.
Here's the deal. They called the panel a boundless future.
And they promised us a balanced future. They showed us big bright sky.
Yep, blue sky thinking.
Blue sky,
and believe me, if there's anything I know about the thing, I understand blue sky thinking. I go with McNair and we teach it to organizations. I understand blue sky thinking, but in the blue sky phase, there's no limits. It's just concept art. Nothing there. It's almost taboo to say you can't do something during the blue sky process. Okay. It's just spitballing. It literally felt like they had just listened to Jim Hill and Lynn Testa, and they just were basically doing a giant like poll and survey to see what people got actually excited about. And dude, everything that was blue skied, I hope they do. I think they were all good ideas.
I have a feeling they will because they talked about it this much.
I mean, some of these things are things you and I have talked about. I would love to see Zootopia, even though Joe Rohde isn't for it. And by the way, if you are a true like Joe Rohde fan, he is featured on a new show called The Explorers Club on Discovery. It's on Discovery Plus. It is absolutely fantastic. It's themed around major adventurers who go to space, the desert. The latest one is around film and TV. So they feature Indiana Jones and like the real life, all of that stuff. It's really fun. The Explorers Club is a real live place in New York City you have to be invited to. Obviously, it's kind of what the Adventures Club was loosely inspired by.
Right.
But dude, all of the things, Encanto, all of those things, dude. I hope we see those things kind of come to life. It would be awesome.
All right, wait. You asked me what did they announce at Destination 23, D23. They announced the opening of Guardians.
They announced the ride or the opening day?
The opening day.
Okay, that's not an announcement. That's just details about, right?
Which, by the way, let me say that was the best ride I've ever ridden.
Oh, dude, that almost felt so good that I'm shocked we got it first.
Yeah.
How did Tokyo Disneyland not get that first?
That was amazing. I was smiling the entire time.
I think it's Zach Ridley, right? Am I right about that? Is his name Zach Ridley?
I think
the right Imagineer?
Yes.
Am I getting his name right? I want to give him a moment here. Yeah, the Zach Ridley on yeah, top notch. Sir, you can do whatever you want. Have your way with Spaceship Earth. It's yours, buddy. I trust you.
I ate. I rode that right after I ate. I'm not going to give a spoil. I'm not going to spoil the ride because the
only thing they goofed on that ride, and there's been a couple of issues with it, is the exit. Yeah, you have to basically get off that ride and then walk downstairs. It does create a little bit of a safety.
Yeah, it does. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers because y'all know me and y'all know how I love my spoilers.
There's no way I can spoil that for you. What happens on that ride because you have nothing to reference until you do it.
Right. The last spiral. That's all I'm going to say. The ending spiral, Terry.
Yep.
I almost lost my cookies on that. But I got the Disco Inferno song, and that made the ride.
Dude, I need you to puke on Guardians at least once, just
so you get that would be great. I'll post a picture in the Facebook group. But the friends we went with, it's me and my daughter in the front row, and then my wife's friend, or my friend too, but my wife's friend.
I will say the camera angle of the shot and the way that you get that picture on your phone is a little wonky.
It is. But
I don't know why that is.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It may work with the new Magic Bands. Did you get a 2.0?
Yeah, I've got a 2.0. There are the Plus. They're awesome.
Did you? How was the charging? Did they last all day?
Yeah, last all day for me. So okay. If you could see, look at the tail of two kids. Me and Ellie are having a great time, and my friend's daughter is just dying,
reconsidering her life choices.
Yes,
and considering killing her father in his sleep.
It was great.
Skip, thanks for the agreement, buddy.
I mean, I get it. Skip, I get it, buddy. I get that my opinion might be company line.
It is. And I will say this, dude. Your opinion the day of, you were lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, I was.
And I still the best review I've heard of this is from Logan Seculo at about 4:00 that afternoon. He said to me in a text, that was it?
Yeah.
He's like, I can't possibly imagine being more underwhelmed.
And I think we are in a leap year or a gap year.
Which this is not. this is strategically. This is not. That is. I am in utter disagreement of that being the move that Disney and all they had to do was just announce one legit new thing that they actually were going to do, or actually supposedly the Play Pavilion's still happening.
Yep, it is
But
still happening.
They won't mention it, right? All they had to do was just give a quick. It doesn't take much to appease us as Disney fans.
No, come on.
But dude, had they just said the Play Pavilion, had they uttered the word, okay, don't worry, we get it. Dick Van Dyke probably won't be around by the time the next D23 comes around, but his attraction will be, and we're gonna announce one new thing because we ripped out an attraction. They should have announced what they were doing in that where they ripped out the whatever that
Adam, look what you made me do, man.
You made me do.
Oh, I laugh, Adam. Good troll, Adam. I love you, buddy.
That was an impressive troll. But I mean, honestly, the Disney fans would have been happy with just a little lip service to actually doing what they said they were going to do and just giving an update. That's what that's for.
Right.
They announced 0 dates. So I think if they're going to keep doing it the way they should do it, they should stop doing it, because I think it definitely.
And I agree. Because like I said before,
it hurt my opinion of the company more than it helped it. I didn't leave fired up. The last one, I was lit up, dude. I was fired up after the last D23. Let's go. I was mad that I wasn't going to be there. I'm glad I didn't go.
So here's the thing. I think, like you said, quit doing it. Fine, quit doing it. I think Destination D23 or Destination 23 or whatever they're calling it now, I think that is where Disney World is getting their stuff, and D23 is where Disneyland and the rest of the company are getting their stuff. So let's not call it the Fan Expo. Let's call it Disney Worlds and Disneylands. Let's just do that.
I was honestly the thing that was announced that I was the most excited for was the new Walt bench with Mickey that's coming to Tokyo. That looked cool.
Yeah, that looked cool.
It was cool to see that guy there. That guy kind of had a weird look on his face, like, "Hey, where'd Chapek go?" We did get to see our first glance of the new the Dreamer statue, which there's something slightly off about that statue. I still dig it. I'm excited for it.
You were upset about the coloring, but then you showed me another picture where
it's just the weird lighting. I was his chin and his lapels look a little odd. It may just be they're trying to force some perspectives. I can't judge that until I see it in person.
Do we want to talk about a bad statue? Here, let me show you a bad statue. And y'all all know how much I admire this man that I'm about to show you. But this is a bad statue. That's a bad statue. So, don't talk to me about bad statues. Look how big his hands and feet are.
Why does Nick Saban look like he's in the? It looks like someone tried to create him in the Hobbit.
Yes.
Universe.
Yes. I mean, look why?
And he's also still very much alive. Why is he a statue?
Well, no, he has a statue because what we have at the Walk of Champions in Alabama, every one of our championship winning coaches has a statue.
Oh.
And so that there was a big discussion of, do we give him a statue now or do we wait?
You know what? This is the first statue that's done. Disney's had one guy that's done all those.
Mm-hmm.
And this for Biden and then this were the first statues done by the new guy.
So I see an issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know where else who has terrible statues? The statues by the Ryman.
You're right.
There was one of Loretta Lynn and there's one of Dolly Parton. It's like, why are these so bad?
Right. Yeah. Jeffrey said, at least it's not Lucille Ball.
We did see the Tafiti Journey of Water.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I think it could be. It'll be fun. It sounds like a fun.
Right.
I've always been for that. It should be.
And it fits with Epcot. I think it fits with the Epcot theming in that area.
I think it would fit more at Animal Kingdom. But
okay,
nature, water.
Yeah, but I think it fits with the land. It's right there in between the land and Future World.
Yeah. I mean, those buildings, those show buildings that have been sitting there for decades with very little going on inside of them since the late 90s.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, I think we've done justice or tried to do justice, or I think we've actually talked longer about D23
than we want. The D23 lasted.
D23 talked about Walt Disney World. So
yeah, I do have to say this though: when you do ride the Guardians ride, did you notice there was a veggie fruit reference? If you're walking through the show line when they're interviewing Star-Lord.
I have only been through the Fast Pass queue.
Well, it was in the Fast Pass queue or the Lightning Lane queue. I actually paid for that one, and it was part of the they were interviewing Star-Lord. He talked about how he loved going to see veggie fruit. Because remember when he was first taken up into space in the 80s, when all that was still going on in Epcot.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, dude, that's a fun that's well done.
Yep.
So hopefully it keeps. Hopefully we keep seeing the parks get better. I definitely feel like, the one thing that was about the Blue Sky. It's like I really wish there was more conversation about Hollywood Studios. I feel like Hollywood Studios still needs some more love.
I walked through Hollywood Studios on this last trip, and you're right.
If you take a ride at the hub, and it's kind of like, okay,
it's my favorite park still.
Oh, dude, I love that area. My life was changed by sitting there watching Disney animators and going, oh man, look what these people do for a living. I could do whatever I want to in my life. Yeah. I mean, I'm sad to see. I was sad to see that go, and I know that building's gone.
Right.
Where Launch Bay is. But let's those parts of the park, and when you walk through Epcot and you see the empty spaces, it just bums me out that they're not doing something with it.
Yeah, agreed.
The like this weekend, especially, like this is fall break, right? So like the parks are packed to the gills. People are waiting in miles of lines, and if we had more attractions, people would have more to do. And people would have a better experience. So let's not refurbish old stuff. Let's build new things. We have the space. Let's build the things that we've talked about building. And let's go. So, well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the D23 Expo in review. We didn't cover that. We met a new ship, and Disneyland got some things announced that they had already had announced. Movies, all of those things. Those things were cool. Those were fun. But
did you get your Funko Pop?
Huh?
Did you get your Funko Pops? Have they come in the mail yet?
I've not gotten the Funko Pops I ordered.
Really? Mine came last week.
I
got Jiminy Cricket and the Mickey in the airplane.
I don't think I got Jiminy Cricket. I did not order a Jiminy Cricket. I couldn't find one, and I gave up quickly. But my Mickey in the airplane hasn't come yet.
That's weird. Mine came post haste.
I got my Tervis cup right away.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I feel like Amazon is in play right now. There's a lot of cool Disney merch up on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
There's the dog from
Pirates.
Carousel of Progress is in there.
Oh yeah, that one. And then the Pirates dog is up there too.
And what else? The plush from Country Bear Jamboree.
Mm-hmm. A lot of 50th merch is up there. A lot of 50th merch is there.
Yeah, and it's exclusive. So Yeah, definitely. You're a Disney fan. Go look up 50th anniversary merch. There's some fun. If Amazon does anything that the Shop Disney site doesn't do, you buy a product and it shows up at your house rather quickly.
Right.
So, or at the very least, it shows up at your neighbor's house.
That's happened before.
Oh yeah. So, but they're at least like, oh man, this is Terry's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, let's wrap this up. We'll see you guys next time, where we are talking about Dave's trip on the Disney Wish.
Yep.
We'll see you next time. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams.
And we'll see you from our corner booth at Top of the World.
Okay.
Just imagine the music. You can drop it in. Well, welcome home.
Do that again.
I'm Terry Weaver.
Hold up. Do it again.
It's one clap, dude. It's not like an applause. It's not a commercial for the clapper. Welcome home. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams.
And we are back-to-back recording another episode. So if you're on the live feed, you get more of us before you go to bed tonight.
Woohoo!
And we are talking about Dave's trip aboard the Disney Wish. And here's what's amazing about this trip. I didn't even know he was going on the Wish because he pretty much planned it the entire time he was sick and then sailed away.
I've had this trip planned since January, Terry.
You didn't tell anybody.
I told you. Everyone else on the podcast knew I was on the Wish.
Yeah. I remember you saying you were going to go on the Wish. I don't remember when you were going.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm on. I'm on, and now I'm off.
Yeah.
I got to meet one of our listeners, and we tried to meet 2 or 3 different times, and finally got to meet up at Hollywood Studios. Got to meet Jonathan Joseph, great guy. Met his wife, met his oldest kid. In fact, he saved my wife because he found a Spirit jersey that we couldn't find at his resort and had it shipped to us. So thank you, Jonathan. But other than that, man, I'll say this. The parks were the parks. We did the Not So Scary. And I know you're not a big fan of the after.
I enjoy the after party and their experiences. My problem with them lately has become is surely a cost to benefit analysis.
Okay.
They have gotten very, very expensive. I actually like the exclusive after parties where the capacities are way reduced over. I still like the Christmas party.
I like the Halloween party over the Christmas party.
I tend to like the Halloween party. I enjoy going to the Halloween party as a guest because it's a great time to go and experience the park. If you just catch the second parade and the fireworks show and then do just rides the rest of the time.
See, I enjoy it because of the candy and the overlays and it's the aspect of me having little kids and you being not a childless millennial, but a childless Xer. Yeah, can I don't think that's a thing. But the parties were great. The parks were the parks. I said it on the last show and I'll say it again. It was fun being at Epcot for the 40th, but there was no amount of merch that I wanted bad enough to stand in a 4 to 5 hour line.
Still no tram running though. How about that?
There were trams running.
Not at Epcot.
I had some people who rode a tram yesterday, but
there 2 of the 4 parks have trams. 2 of the 4 don't.
Okay, but it's still as fun as it is. It's still Walcott. There's still a wall everywhere. It's still a park in progress right now.
Did you just go to 2 parks then, since you were just there?
Yeah, just did 2 parks. I hopped. I did Magic Kingdom. I did Hollywood Studios. I did actually for the first time ever. I did a park by myself. No one else wanted to do Star Wars stuff, and I did. And I grabbed myself a park reservation for Hollywood Studios Sunday morning, and went and did some Hollywood Studios
What
stuff.
did the fam do? They just hang out in the room?
Yeah, they hung out at the pool. We went with some friends, and we had a 2-bedroom at Kidani, and they wanted to hang out by the pool a little bit.
Nice. It's a great pool.
It is a great pool.
For kids especially.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a if you remember our last trip with friends, we did a 2-bedroom Savannah view, and we got the Savannah view that was nothing.
Okay.
But I just did a traditional view this time, and I opened up my window, and I had a great view.
You had a great Savannah view. Yeah.
No. I had a great view of the bus stop.
Did you request?
No, I didn't request because up until Wednesday of this trip, before the trip, I had Old Key West, and because nothing was available, and I just lucked upon this Kidani, so I wasn't going to press my luck.
No. Well, at least you didn't have to stay in Old Key West.
Here again, I like Old Key West.
No, and for a large, we have just celebrated the anniversary of Old Key West this week.
Yep. Yeah, I like it because of the large rooms.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
About that, how cheap it was when DVC first opened. $51 a point, dude, and you got passes for everyone. And I ran the math on that. And it's basically, had you bought in 1990, whatever, 91, 93, whatever it was,
right?
It would cost more just to go and get a Disney World now. So those people have gotten their money's worth out of that experience.
They have
with all the and I still believe, I still say, your DVC value is still there, even if you are buying direct, which I don't think is the best deal. But if you do, in 20, 30 years, it's still going to be a good deal.
It is. The reason it's a good deal for us is because for the price we've paid, we are paying moderate rates, or had paid moderate rates for a super deluxe resort. And Terry and I've talked about this, and Terry's laughed at me over the past years of the show. I overpaid for Riviera. I understand that. But I love Riviera. But even paying that high rate, I think in the next 3 years, we will have already broken even as much as we've gone.
Oh, yeah.
And we might have already done it. I just hadn't kept up with it.
Well, how many trips have you taken?
Gosh. Since we've been members since 2020, I think we're at 7.
Well,
but I mean, it's
you're getting 1 bedrooms and larger, so let's just assume the 1 bedrooms are about $850 a night.
Yeah.
So $850 in Riviera, you couldn't touch a 1 bedroom at Riviera. You're at closer to $1,250 for those. So let's be kind and say they're $1,000. How many nights do you think you've gone?
Let's just throw a number and say 20. Probably been more than that.
We've been
more than that.
You've probably gotten at least $30,000 back.
Yeah.
So you're not there yet, but you're well on your way.
I will be there at the end of March, probably.
Yeah. 2 more trips and you've probably paid for your investment.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. Granted, you're going to pay dues forever and all of those things.
Yeah.
But,
and here's the cool, and we'll get to this later, but I was able to help sell DVC to a couple at the DVC kiosk on the Wish. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, parks were the parks. Resorts were great. Kidani's always great. It's a great value for, I mean, honestly, it was 2 points cheaper for a 2-bedroom at Kidani than a 2-bedroom at Old Key West.
It's crazy.
I don't understand how.
Don't ask questions.
I'll try not to.
Because there are people who really love Old Key West and who really people love it, think it's the bee's knees.
It's great. It is great.
No, I get it, but you can't compete with the animals in that experience. And
and Sanaa being right there.
But then if your view was the bus stop, you were right by what you lost in room view. You were right there. I mean, you walked.
Yeah, I just hopped. I took the little.
And you're a busman.
Yeah,
so that actually worked in your favor.
Yeah, it was great. And then so I'm going to tout a company. We use them for our travel agents, but Away We Go Transportation, I think is their name, but it's private bus or private van, picked me up from the airport, picked all of us up from the airport. Then private van took us to the Port Canaveral, and they picked us up later. Great prices. It was actually cheaper for a party of 7 than it would have been doing the Disney bus service. So use them. They were awesome. Got to the Disney Port. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. So
they took you to the port too.
Yes.
Did they pick you up at the airport?
They picked me up at the airport.
Took you to the parks.
Took me to our hotel first so we could drop our stuff off. But the cool thing about Away We Go is
they took you from your hotel to the parks?
No.
Okay, they just dropped you off at the resort.
But they will. So here's something that Away We Go will do. For $20 more than your normal fare, they will take you directly to the parks and then go drop your luggage off at your resort.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they are a great company.
That is a great
yeah.
We should get them to be a sponsor of the show, Dave.
I can talk to them. Let me see what I can do.
That's a good offering, dude. That's a great.
It is.
And here's the reality. When you're in Orlando and when you're there, you're paying for time.
Mm-hmm.
So once I start burning my DVC points, like if I'm doing something else, I typically don't use my points. But once I'm there to do Disney, I'm there using my DVC points, and I think that's when they're the most valuable. I don't want to use it going around the Mall of Millennia. I want to use it like in a resort or a park doing something.
Right.
Or at Disney Springs. So I love that, dude. That's worth $20. You can't get an Uber from anywhere for 7 people for $20. I guarantee that.
They're great people.
And
easy to deal with. In fact, and I appreciate this. You know, most companies you have to talk to a helpline. I called them once just to set it up, and the whole rest of the time it was just dealing with them through text.
Huh.
Their driver will text you the night before, and then they'll text you about 20 minutes out.
Nice.
It was great. They also have something to where for $20 you could either do the park thing or they will drop you off at Target and say, I'll meet you in 30 minutes and let you go pick up a Target order or something like that and then take it to the resort. But I prefer to do shipped with that or some Instacart or something like that.
Yeah, you use one of those services for that.
Yeah.
And big change, you now can have
alcohol,
adult beverages. Which I don't know why that was a deal. Apparently there were some issues with valets enjoying some festivities. So, definitely take advantage of that.
Yep.
And if there was anything we all learned during 2020, was how to order online.
Yes.
And how to order on an app. And so,
order
those things and have them in your room. I mean, we're going to do that for the presidential suite that we have for the thing.
Awesome.
And order, I'll get a couple bottles of some libations. We already have a case of wine sitting there, so we'll definitely order that. Just because my room kind of becomes the central party hub and suites, and it's just who doesn't need a little Makers and Coke to get through the day.
Hey, Skip, I don't know if they have wheelchair accessible vehicles. I can check on that.
I'm not even sure. They probably have to, I would imagine.
I would assume they do, but let me check on that and get back with you, Skip. So let me tell you. Okay, so everybody knows I'm a travel agent as my side gig. I booked this for me and for my family and my family's friends.
And by all means, guys, use Dave if you're planning a trip.
Thank you.
Use Dave if you listen to the show. You should help him out.
Yeah,
it helps him support. It helps him support his Disney habit.
It
gives
does.
him content. And dude, I have friends that are making a killing being Disney travel agents, and Dave has the personality and the work ethic to pull it off. So let's build his book of business.
I appreciate
and don't try to be the know-it-all Disney fan. And this is not Dave didn't ask me to do this. He's probably shocked that I'm doing it.
I am a little bit.
that do not try to go do this stuff by yourself.
Oh, at all. No. So Dave at goldgalgetaways.com, or shoot me a Facebook message. I'll talk to everybody. So I appreciate that, Terry. So let me tell you, this is my.
I mean, dude, I don't even plan a Disney trip or a trip outside of the parks of any kind without using a travel agent, because it's worth their hassle.
It is.
You know, I use the travel agent we're doing a VIP plaid service as part of the thing this year.
Ooh.
And so I let a travel agent get up and mess with that, and then when it was like a wait, I let them deal with that hassle.
Yep.
It doesn't cost me anything. It didn't cost me anything. It saved me the hassle and the nightmare, and so it's basically just me wanting to make Dave wait on hold.
That's all it is. I mean, so the beauty of it is you pay nothing for using a travel agent. That is something that a lot of people don't realize, that travel agents get paid from the company that we book for. We do not get paid by you.
And often they're going to know about sales, and a great travel agent like Dave is, well, even after the fact, after they booked your trip, we'll see a sale come through, see you if you qualify for it, and half the time make the change and just send you an email that says, "Hey, I just saved you $400." And actually, you're taking money out of Dave's pocket for him to save you $400, but because that's his job, he's going to do it, and he wants to do it and serve you well.
Yep.
And then you can afford to spend that $400 on getting great transportation, or going on another excursion, or adding better experiences, or doing things like special dinners or VIP tours and stuff like that. So,
and it's a fun way for me to help. I plan people's Disney trip even before I was a travel agent.
Dude, it's a good way for you to use your know-it-all spiritual gift.
I appreciate that. I do have a know-it-all gift, don't I? Although Sherry would say you know it all, sir. So let me tell you about a what not to do that I did on this trip, that as a travel agent, I failed myself. So we're going on this cruise. I've got my passport. I've got my wife's passport. And the night before we were leaving, I was going through our paperwork, and I failed to bring my daughter's birth certificates.
Oh, geez.
So I called Disney and used my travel agent line and said, all right, what do I do? They said, well, first off, you're safe because you uploaded their birth certificates. But for customs, if you want to feel safer, a photocopy works for a closed loop cruise. What is a closed loop cruise? A closed loop cruise is where you start and end at the same place. So I gave my mom my backdoor code. She broke into my house, came downstairs.
Wait a second. Let's just break this part down just for 1 second. Your mom doesn't have the code to get into your house?
She does, but she forgot it.
Okay. I feel that deeply.
Yes. Understood. So she came down to my office, which my office is a wreck right now. I said, Mom, do not judge my office right now. So she took their birth certificates, used the Notes app on her iPhone, scanned it in, and we had a PDF version of our girls' birth certificates on our phone. We then went the extra mile, and this is where DVC cast members are the best. The front desk cast members are the best. Said, look, do y'all have a business center? They said that we can print these off. Said, no, we don't. But here's what we can do. Here is the front desk email address. If you feel comfortable emailing this to us, we will print them out for you.
Yeah, they do that. That's
I know. But that's
not just DVC, and those aren't DVC employees. Those are just Disney cast members.
Yeah, but they're awesome.
Yeah, and I do that with boarding passes or other things from time to time. So we had to do that with Jamaica. We had to get a bunch of stuff printed out. I had, and I think you might have gone on the last cruise that was requiring a COVID test.
So part 2 of said story. Harper is the only unvaccinated member of our family. She's 4. She turns 5 in 3 days. It's October 12th. So we the vaccinated people didn't have to have a test. We were fine. I did a proctored test for her 3 days before we left, forgetting that they do not take rapid PCR tests for people under 5.
Oh my gosh.
It was a rapid PCR test. So she was she was rejected, and we got that rejection on Saturday. No, it was Sunday, like 24 hours before we left for the cruise. So we had to figure out what to do. My wife found a doc in the box that did the rapid antigen test. No, it's rapid antigen that they didn't accept, but rapid PCR that they would accept. But so they found the rapid PCR test, did that, paid way too much money, but at this point I was going to pay anything I could to get her on that boat. Luckily, of course, she got the negative, and then Harper and Amanda were able to meet us at Mickey's Not So Scary, and we were all able to get on the boat and have the fun family trip that we had. Getting on the boat was a breeze. I'll say Disney has everything down to a science of doing the check-in,
especially at Port Canaveral.
Yes,
I have experienced. We have boarded in Barcelona, Honolulu, and one other place I don't remember.
San Diego, maybe.
I don't remember, but in San Juan, we boarded in San Juan before. It does not go quite as well when it is because literally you get to the port and it's all like convention center, like the roll up signs.
Yeah.
Versus so they've definitely perfected the ramps and everything. It's definitely a much more of a oof. So kind of have that caveat when you are cruising outside of Disney. And like Dave said about the open loop, you definitely have a lot more bubbles and hiccups when it is a cruise that's a little we were considering going from Honolulu on the 13th night from Honolulu to Sydney, Australia.
That would be fun.
Dude, it's like 10 nights at sea, which is my ideal.
Yeah.
But
I prefer at sea days.
Yeah, me too. But the price point, dude, it got I mean, by the time we flew to Honolulu and then flew back from Sydney, I mean, it was going to be 21 days that we were gone. And, the cruise just for a standard balcony was going to be about $8,000. And the flights back from Sydney were going to be kind of gnarly.
Yeah, I bet they would be.
And so it was starting to get to the point where it was I mean, we did the math of how many other things we could do.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go to Italy and stay in a private villa for a month for that. And so and Dave and I had this conversation a little bit before the show that, Disney cruises have gotten up there in price pretty high.
They have.
And granted, the Wish, give the Wish another year and it'll be a little more normalized. And, one of the things, there's been a rumor, and I'll kind of cover this, just kind of break up the monotony of Dave talking about getting on a boat.
Well, there's more to it, but
there's
more to it than that.
I know there is more to it, but I want to provide people some. Disney is rumored to be buying another ship, and we don't know if this ship is going to be one of the 4 that they've promised, and the Wish is the first of those 4. The Treasure would be the second of those 4, or if it will be an additional. If it will be ship 3, 4, or if this could potentially be the 5th new ship, but it's awesome. the Dreamliner from another cruise line that was supposed to sail the Asia Pacific, 9,000 passenger ship. It was cost $1.5 billion to build this puppy or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's 80% done. It's just sitting there. It may be turned into scrap. So Disney basically could buy this, roll it over to their shipyard at Meyer Wharf. And I know Imagineers have been over there looking at seeing if it is possible to actually retrofit this and turn this into a true Disney ship. It would be absolutely amazing, and it would make sense because the Wish route that Dave went on. This is why this is pertinent. That Dave is actually going on is the most popular. It's the additional experience to a Walt Disney World vacation. Is it the Dream that's in Miami this winter? They basically have moved the Dream, so
the Dream's down there.
They could basically shift everything around. And this was a ship they would literally just bounce from Nassau or the other new the new
they have Castaway Key, and then they also have Lighthouse Point, which is
Lighthouse
the new island,
which isn't an island. It's a half of an island. There's people living on it, which would actually solve some kind of crew issues and stuff. I hope they do it. The ship sounds amazing, and I would love to see a giant. I'm not sure I would want. I want to sail on it once, but I'm not sure of what kind of experience. Castaway, I don't think could handle that sheer volume of people.
No, it couldn't.
The difference between being on like the fantasy, the dream, or the wish, and the wonder or the magic at fantasy, it's pretty significant. So if they are able to build Lighthouse Point with that in mind and maybe expand and even maybe go out a little further into that, yeah, let's do it. I'm for it.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So let me hit the highlights here. I mean, I can go on and on about this cruise.
You're on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat. The atrium is quite. I can easily say it's the most beautiful atrium I've ever seen on any ship.
Oh, and from everything I've seen, absolutely. And you're boarding through that, correct?
Yeah, you board through the atrium.
Welcome aboard, Adam's family.
I did, and I, what's funny is, you tell the people what your name is, and they have to wait for a couple of people to pass, and then they say,
does anybody do the?
All the time. In fact, I told her, I said, it's the Addams family, but is there any way that it doesn't have to be the Addams family? Can you say the Addams clan or the Addams whatever? And she said, no, I have to say family. Like I almost told her, I said, can you please announce my daughters and say Princess Helly and Princess Harper and their entourage or something like that? She said, no, it has to be the family. But yeah, we got welcome aboard the Addams family, and it was pretty cool.
And so, does anybody go da 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 da?
Oh, all the time. In fact, the Trash Pandas stuff here, I've won dirtiest car in the parking lot and a couple of things, and they always say, and the dirtiest car in the parking lot goes to the Addams family, and they always play the theme song right after they say that. But
gotta love the Pandas, rock on Pandas.
Yeah, they're great. The theming on this ship is outstanding. I mean, you walk in the atrium, and it's like you're in a castle. That's what they have themed this ship for. If you've ever been on a Disney ship, it makes you feel like they have themed around kids and then thrown in adult stuff every now and then.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like that area is, and that area is almost designed to feel like a show stage too.
Yeah, and it was. They use it as a show stage.
Use it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's less forced. It's like all the other ships it happens on, and it kind of feels like, oh gosh, we're sitting on the floor.
Right, exactly.
Everyone's like, this feels like it works that way. They do stuff there. They do a kiss goodnight there.
Oh, and I've got on video. It's great.
Never is great. Never is great. And if I can, appeal to you guys as Disney fans, start experiencing those things and let speaking of pandas, let John Panda and other Disney influencers go in there and give you a 4K video of that. They'll do that. They'll ruin their trip with that experience and put it on YouTube for you. Don't stare at I've got the new iPhone. I mean, it's great. The screen's awesome, but you're missing out on real life. Like I do that with the fireworks. I literally just put my hand up and I just do it above my head and I watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
And I hope I grab a couple of shots.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to miss the real thing.
Yeah.
Or the thing either. The thing live. Last chance to get tickets. A couple weeks away.
There you go. But
so let's try to buzz through this, dude.
Yep,
let's talk about the things that are different. Let's talk about specifically the show. Did you go to the show?
Went to one of the shows.
With Aladdin?
Well, I did Little Mermaid. I could not do Aladdin because I had a bourbon tasting. That was only.
You gave up the new show to taste bourbon?
There were only 18 bourbon tastings on the ship only 18 people from the whole ship could get this, and I got it. And yes, I gave up Aladdin to go do it.
Did your kids do it though?
Yes, they said it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was very much like the Hyperion Theater's Aladdin with a lot more flair.
Nice.
I'm
glad to hear that. That was a great show.
Yeah, the shows are amazing. The shopping's amazing. The theming is
the shopping significantly bigger?
Yes, I'd say so.
Is there a Tiffany company on this one?
No, it's not a Tiffany. It's I can't remember what it was called, but it had. I'm trying to count. I think there were about 5 different shops, and
there were 2 Disney. There's like an art store. Was there an art store on this one?
Yep.
Okay.
So there are 2 theaters, which was awesome. I didn't watch
movie theaters. 2 movie theaters.
2 movie theaters. There wasn't any great movies on this time, so I didn't get to watch any there. I
always go see something because that's my favorite place to see a movie.
Yeah, there is a lot more adult theming bars on this ship. You know how on the Dream and the Fantasy, it's all pushed to one area. There's like 4 bars there in one area.
In kind of their nightlife corner, yeah.
Right.
Well, they do that because they want to be able to keep the kids away.
Well, there's a bar on pretty much on 3, 4, and 5. There's a bar everywhere. Like you're walking through New Orleans. They call it Tiana's Bourbon Bar or Tiana's Bourbon Street Bar.
Did you do the
Star Wars
Speakeasy?
No, I didn't.
Shop?
I did the Speakeasy. Yes, that's where I did the bourbon tasting.
Oh, dude, that's okay. That's cool. That's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
and it was
fantastic.
I need to tell Grease this. It was the best old fashioned I have ever had.
Nice. So, did you do the Star Wars?
I walked through. I didn't really go in. You
didn't get a reservation, or you couldn't?
No, they don't do reservations anymore. You can just walk in. It's cool, but it's not great. I mean, it's cool to see it. It's cool to be in it. It's cool to be themed in it, but it's just a regular bar with Star Wars theming.
Yeah. That one felt like a oh crap, we should do a Star Wars bar.
So let me tell you, if Star Wars fans, you need to be 12 and under because the Star Wars area, it's called Star Wars Cargo Bay in the kids area in Oceaneers Club.
Which you can see that during like open house times.
Normally. Yes, and there were a lot of open house times.
Yeah.
First off, I did the slide 3 or 4 times, and I slid from the atrium down to the kids area.
That feels very you'll shoot your eye out from the Christmas Story.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Star Wars Cargo Bay was as themed as the Smuggler's Run.
Okay.
And all the buttons I could push. Then they also have a create your Marvel hero super suit. And you go up and in AR, in augmented reality, they put the suit on you. And they also have an engineering lab where you can go and create roller coasters. And it uploads your created roller coaster to your the kids' Magic Band. And then you sit down in this little car and you ride your roller coaster that you've created.
Is it like the old deal from Disney Quest?
It doesn't move like that one, but it's very close to it.
Dude, I think that was one of the best attractions.
Yeah. This kids club is the best kids club I've ever seen.
So kids club, the one kind of complaint I've seen is the family pool area is kind of lame.
The pools are very small.
Okay.
But there are about 7 of them.
Okay.
So it's all spread out.
It's not the big giant pool deck that you had before.
No, it's not a Lido deck anymore. In fact, some of the pools, in fact, all the pools, they can cover up at night, and so you have plenty of space to watch the fireworks.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. They have a buffet called the Marceline Market, and it's just normal buffet food. But they also have called Mickey's Food Fair or something like that. Mickey and Friends Food Fair. They had barbecue. They had hamburgers, all you can eat ice cream,
And that's all like
tacos.
on the deck outside, right?
Yes, and pizza.
All of that looked like that. They've stepped that food experience up, and they've
That
slowly been doing that with like better like there was gyros on one of the ships I was last on.
Yeah.
Like, they've been trying to get more like people come on the boat to eat.
Yep. Oh, definitely. That food was the best food I've ever had as a quick service on a cruise.
Wow, good for them.
Yep. And then, okay, the rotational dining. Holy crap.
So we've got the 3 Rain restaurants, right? Are there 3 or 4?
3.
3. So you've got the
Marvel.
Princess-y
Well,
one, right?
Let's do it in the order I went.
We got Marvel, March the 1928 and
1923, actually.
1923.
Yeah, Marvel, Arendelle, and 1923.
Okay.
So Marvel, it's
Is Arendelle in the center of the boat like the other princess-themed restaurants have been?
It's in the front of the boat.
Okay.
But so Marvel, is
anything connected to the atrium?
No. Food one. Oh yeah. 1923 is.
Okay.
Yeah. So Marvel, you're sitting there. It's a Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're showing their PIM technology.
And this is the first boat to not do a animator's palette.
Right. But this Marvel thing was awesome. The food was amazing. Arendelle is just like the Tangled one on the Fantasy. It's basically you are treated to a show, and it's basically you're invited to Arendelle for Kristoff and Anna's engagement.
And Tiana's
Bourbon Bar.
There's a Tiana show on one of the smaller ships.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like that too.
Yeah, it's like a center stage, and the only downside with those two, with all of those, and I imagine it's probably the same because I've heard complaints on the Wish from it, that sometimes seeing the stage, it's a little, there's no like video, so it's like you kind of gotta hope.
We were pretty far back, and we were able to see it. The stage
you could see it, but it just obviously if you were right there, it definitely would have happened.
Yeah.
And also remember that stuff. And if you want some of those things and you need some of those things to change, to ask when you get on and to make sure, like, say, hey, where's my table at this? This is what my kids are really looking forward to. And maybe you'll end up, because you kind of get a great table at least one rotation. If the one that really matters to you is that one, be sure and ask, and they'll make some changes.
Yep.
They'll find you a space.
So before I talk about 1923, let me talk about the staff. I have always talked about how good cast members are in the parks, but the staff that work on Disney cruise ships are second to none for anything. The second night, so the staff that you have rotates with you to your
and that's a
room.
Disney difference,
right?
The rotational dining, you don't rotate, you have your team rotates with you, which is fantastic.
We had an amazing lady named Kwan. She's from Thailand. That's the
most Thai name ever too. It's all
I know. Awesome. The second night we get there, and she had already poured our kids drinks from.
Oh yeah, normally when you arrive from the second night on,
yeah,
you guys did a 4-night, right?
We did a 4-night. When we were on the private island, all of the people on the ship get off the island onto the island, and they're the staff on the island. Luckily, Kwan found us, and she brought our girls a plate of fruit, just because she knows that they like fruit. So she brought them a plate of fruit and laid it down on the table and said, here you go. I know you want to eat some fruit. I mean, I cannot say enough about the staff.
Yep.
And then the last restaurant was 1923. And Terry, this is one that you and I could spend all day in.
Dude, I would just. Did you sit on the Walt or the Roy side?
I sat on the Walt side.
Okay. Did you go back and eat it during
Yes.
You ate there. So, did you sit on the Roy side for that?
No, I couldn't. They wanted us on the Walt side, because the Walt side was the one that they had open for the quick breakfast in the morning. But it's themed to 1920s California.
Yep.
And all of the artwork there is sketches from the actual artists of all of the movies that Disney has
like
done.
concept art,
sketches of what storyboards. We were the two areas we set in on the Walt side were I was looking at Bambi and I was looking at Sleeping Beauty.
That's awesome.
And you walk back as we were leaving, they had this big pencil drawing of Smee from Peter Pan. It was just absolutely amazing.
Everything I've heard about that, everybody loved that, and everybody actually loved the change to the Marceline market. They felt like that was a step up.
Honestly, yes, it was a step up. I didn't like the food. It just was too quick servicey for me.
Yep. It's not my bag either.
No.
But it's a good breakfast. It's a good quick.
Yeah. It is. I was trying to think.
It sounds like the sleeper is the deck side.
Oh, hands down. And there was barely a line any night.
Yeah.
So I would.
Dude, I don't normally like pizza, and I like the pizza on Disney Cruise.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good.
Because a lot of that stuff they've shipped from, like, even the hamburgers are normally made to order out there.
Yeah.
The only time I normally take advantage of that is when we've been ashore all day. And if we didn't eat in the location, a lot of times we try to eat just because you're someplace
right
different, but sometimes you don't. And so
the MVP of this was the barbecue. It is the same barbecue that you get at Regal Eagle in Epcot. It was so good.
I've had great Regal Eagle experiences, and I've had Your Guardians. I think this may come back experiences at Regal Eagle.
Well, every time I've eaten at Regal Eagle, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I ate there during a day one time, and it was absolutely stunning. Like it was like too good for theme park barbecue. But I've eaten there right before they closed.
Nah, there's your problem.
Yeah, well, we ate there last year at the end of the VIP day before we went to go see Harmonious. We were walking our way to go see that, and it was not fantastic. But
the other MVP of this ship, and I know this is a stupid little thing, but the Aqua Mouse was awesome.
Yeah, that's all. No, that's not a stupid little thing. It's a near, like, water roller coaster kind of.
I mean, you do get an enema up the butt of water as you get shot up one of the hills, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And just
people go to spas for that kind of thing.
I know, right? I speaking of spa, I didn't get to do the spa because I had my kids with me.
Dude, I mean, and I think Leslie loves a good massage. She loves a good spa treatment. And we never do it on the Disney Cruise because it's always just like, really? Like that? How much?
Yeah.
It's like, it's one thing when it's like, okay, that's twice what I normally pay, but that's fine. This is 3 to 4. The Disney Cruise, like, spa kind of experiences are like 3 to 4 times.
Right. So let me end it.
And then like 3-minute wrap up. So then we're gonna call this an episode.
Well, so I'm going to bring it home and talk about why this it's great to be a DVC member on a cruise ship. And Terry,
and by the way, Dave was sharing this with me from the ship. He's like, dude, they make you feel like a rock star. I was like, well, dude, they're selling to you. They're knowing your love. They know this is the best Disney experience you've ever had if you've never had it before.
Right.
And like just the welcome party and then the free cocktails.
So I'll say this, and you're right. They're trying to sell you, but I never once.
Did you get some swag?
A ton of it. Yeah. I never once felt like they were truly doing a full court press sales pitch on me.
Hard sell.
No,
but that's just, they don't have. DVC sells itself.
They gave us, that pop socket.
Okay.
That was one of the nights.
Okay.
The
pop sockets.
Yeah. The first night was a luggage tag. The second night,
you bring me anything?
Well, if my girls don't want one, I'll let you have it. The second night was a drawstring bag, and it was a nice drawstring bag. Nice. That you can take on the ship. The third night was chapstick, which my wife enjoyed that because we're going to the island and her lips were getting chapped. The fourth night was the pop socket.
Nice.
So, and then they had 2 different membership celebrations, and they encouraged you to come to both of them. Free drinks, free popcorn, free. You get to meet a character.
Ooh, free popcorn.
You have to pay for popcorn in other places. So
you know what? You're right on the Disney cruise. You have to pay for the popcorn.
Yeah, you do.
It's the one food item they charge you for on the Disney cruise, which always cracks me up. It's like, just give me some popcorn. I'm going to see a movie.
Right. But, and like you said, they are trying to sell you, but it's never a hard sell. It's never a, whatever. You can always just say, yeah, in fact, they laugh whenever they saw me and Amanda, because they figured out I was the softie that always I'm the one that wants to spend my money, where Amanda's the frugal one. And so they looked and they said, did you bring the frugal one with you? They were just laughing with us. This is where I got to help hopefully sell a young couple on DVC. They were looking into it. They said they've always wanted to do it. And part of the thing I said is that, look, you're young now and you want to buy as inexpensively as you can, but just remember, this is a 50-year contract. When you get to those 1 bedrooms, when that 200 points is not going to do you enough. And they laughed, and I said, trust me, I've been a member for 3 years. And I've already rebought. So in fact, I came back and the agent said, thank you for that. That's something that not a lot of people know or talk about up front.
Yeah. I don't know anyone that I've never heard any member ever say, I bought too many points.
Yep. My wife probably will say that.
Dude, you don't have enough points. You guys are always running on.
I know.
You're always running thin.
I know. And we just rebought.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, there's my trip. I will say this. My one big complaint are the
What's
elevator.
your favorite? Is the Wish your new favorite ship?
No, the Dream is still.
And I'm still up. I'm an OG, man. I still like the Magic and the Wonder.
Yeah. I will say this. The Wish is amazing. But the Dream, I don't know how to explain it really, but the Dream just had some cooler features to me. The biggest thing to me, and I'm a wide man, the elevators on the Wish are the most narrow things I've ever seen. There's a lot of them, but they are very narrow.
Huh.
So know that going in. And the other thing is, when you're on the elevator and they try to cram as many people as they can on there, the buttons are not touch buttons. They're those hover buttons. And so if someone just accidentally leans up against the touch panel, you're stopping at every floor.
Oh my gosh.
It happened a couple of times. But
so did you feel like you couldn't get in the elevator?
No, I could get in, but it's just when you try to cram in 2 or 3 parties.
Okay. It's got to be wide enough for a wheelchair, so you can't get too narrow.
It's wide enough for a wheelchair, but that's about it.
Okay.
So I will say this. The Dream is a beautiful ship. If I given the chance to do it again, I will definitely do it again.
The Wish, yeah.
Or the Wish, yeah. The Wish is a beautiful ship. Given a chance to do it again, I will definitely do it again. But it is not oh my gosh, I have to get back on the ship right now type.
No,
ship.
I imagine by the time the next Treasure, as they perfect the class, because the Fantasy I liked a lot better than the Dream.
Right.
The Dream is, of the ones I've not been on the Wish, the Dream is currently my least favorite in the fleet.
Really? Okay.
Now, granted, but also I hate the destination that the Wish goes to. I hate going to Nassau. That's not vacation to me.
I don't get off on Nassau.
Right.
That's
the whole
ship.
I love the experience of the whole point of going on a cruise is a roving hotel to go experience the world. So
understood.
I'm excited to see what's next, and as we get global, and we're going on sale this week to go to Sydney and Fiji Islands and beyond. So I hope we start to see more experiences like this in the future. I'm excited. Yep. I'm excited for what this could mean.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's great. And as much as you go on a Disney cruise, I mean, it's expensive, but Disney does give you cool things. I mean, this was only our second cruise, and we got the Silver Castaway Club, and it was a beautiful beach bag, and it says Disney Wish inaugural sailing, and it comes with a bag cover. I mean,
oh, dude, you got a long way to go then. If you're just a
oh
silver.
yeah, I'm just silver.
Oh, that bag covers a laundry bag, by the way.
Oh, well, looky there.
Yeah, we're platinum. We've been on 12 cruises, so we have not cruised post pandemic yet. So we almost pulled the trigger on buying tomorrow, actually, and couldn't. We just the cost of going to Sydney and back was just
understood. But
the pricing was like it's right on the edge. Got right on the edge. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see where we go next. I'm itching to go on another Disney cruise for sure. We do love the cruises. So did you do any fine dining or no because of the kids?
No, because of the kids. And the food on Disney ships is phenomenal. I will say that, look, I've been on Royal and I've been on Norwegian since I've done a Disney cruise, between my 2 Disney cruises. And I forget how much better Disney food is compared to the other cruise ships. Just in the main dining room, like the friendship, the little food fare alone was better than anything I ever had on the Royal Caribbean ships.
That's interesting because Royal's rated very highly.
I agree, and that's why I was very disappointed on my last Alaskan cruise with Royal because of the food. It was not good, and I wasn't the only one coming away saying that.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, Dave. The company man didn't like Royal Caribbean as much as he liked the Disney cruise. Dude, I understand. I mean, we've not intentionally done because we know the bar has been set up too high.
Yeah, it is.
The only one that's got my attention is Virgin because they basically are a cruise for foodies. And you don't have kids. So for you take family vacations. And so that rules it out for you. And I understand, that's one of the reasons why people love this show is because I don't have kids and you guys do. So a vacation totally different. And yeah. But well, guys, I think that'll do it. If anyone happens, I doubt it. No one's on the normal humans are in bed by this hour.
We got 2 still watching.
Yeah. And it's not me or you. So that's impressive. Or it's maybe just you and another person.
No, my guess is Skip and Jeffrey.
Yeah, who are hanging in there. Well, guys, and maybe Vance, maybe Vance came in, if he's still there, just to see if we would fight again.
Very true.
But fun episodes, and we'll try to get one more in. I'll be back in we'll be back before I head to the thing. Last call if you guys do want to join us at the thing.live. It's kind of your last chance to join us on that if that's something that if you're an entrepreneur leader or you want to learn how to do sales better, we're teaching those things. So it'll be a fun. We have the former vice president of the Animal Kingdom joining us, and it should be a fun weekend. And so I am neck deep in all those details and reservations and every little tiny detail. So we're just about 3 weeks away. So we're excited when we recorded this. So we will see you guys from our corner booth in Top of the World Lounge. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.